Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome again to another painting tutorial. Today I'll be painting a landscape and we'll be doing some reflections on the water, reflecting the sky. And I'm just so excited about this one because I just love landscapes. Again, landscapes are my go-to whenever I feel like I don't have anything to paint, but I just want to paint. It's days like that happen. All right, so the colors that I'll be mentioning today or during the introduction of this video will be listed in the description box below as always. And today I'll be using quite a bunch of colors. Okay, so we have titanium white, cerulean blue. I'll have to show you. All right, so we have titanium white, okay, cerulean blue, cadmium yellow, black, orange, permanent green deep. You can also use phthalo green. What is this? Yellow ochre, violet, and burnt sienna, or in my case, I'm using brown red. So let's begin now. I'm gonna sketch first where things are gonna go so that you have an idea of how things will look like at the end or the result so that you will have an idea of how this is going to end. So I'm gonna use first my blue. I'm gonna use my cerulean blue. Let's just first define where the horizon is gonna go. So it's gonna be like uh, 2/3 of the canvas. I'm using a 14 by 11 or 11 by 14 canvas paper. Okay, just like that. So this is where my horizon is gonna go. And if I think it's a little bit crooked, I'm just gonna adjust it later. But for now, I think it's fine. And now let's proceed to identifying where things are gonna go down here on the foreground. And still, I'm gonna use my blue because we'll be using a lot of greens. So if I use blue, it's all right because green is a combination of blue and yellow. So it will be perspective play, okay? We'll be doing some sort of perspective today. And you know how much I love doing perspective paintings because it makes the painting look more 3D, okay? When in fact, it's just, 2D, kind of like that. So there will be a stream, not really a stream, but what do you call that? A small, um, it's a very narrow river, okay? All right, just like that. So this will be the water portion and this will be the grass or the fields portion. Okay, just like that. Okay, so this is where things are gonna go. It's gonna be very, very simple. But since it's simple, we're gonna do our best to look it more natural, to make it look more realistic, because that's always my style. All right, so I'm gonna underpaint first the sky, or okay, hello. Hello, silence. Come on. It's Saturday, so I didn't expect that it will be really noisy at this time of the hour, at this time of the day. I'm gonna get my cerulean blue. Okay, I'm gonna dab on a little bit of black, mix it with my cerulean blue and white, just to tone down the blueness of the cerulean blue color. And I'm gonna start creating the sky. Let's make the sky more muted. Okay, we don't want the sky to be super bright. We'll be doing a more of an afternoon scene. It's not super sunset scene, but more of afternoon, like maybe 3:30 in the afternoon. Very specific. Okay. Again, a combination of cerulean blue, black, and white, just to get that toned blue color for the sky. All right. Now I'm gonna get my violet. I'm gonna mix that with the blue color that we already have. Mix it with a little bit of black so that it's more toned down, and a little bit of white to make it more on the pastel side of things. And I'm gonna use this violet-y color. Okay, just around this area. And you know me, I just use my fingers to spread the paint. I am such a a finger painter and no shade. Okay, just gonna spread a little bit of that violet color. Okay, I'm gonna switch brush. Okay, I'm gonna add some white and yellow right here. Okay, again, we want to smoothen the lines because while this is preliminary, what I'm doing is very preliminary to the final look of the sky. We want to make sure that we make soft lines. All right, I'm gonna get some white and I'm gonna apply it. Okay, right here. Okay, I'm gonna grade the white. We don't want to use pure white just yet. So I'm gonna grade down the white by adding black to that. And I'm gonna make some streaks of clouds. I cannot believe how noisy it is today outside. I wasn't painting earlier and it was quiet, and now that I'm painting, all the noise I would notice. I never get used to it. I don't think I will ever get used to noisy things or noisy places. I don't think so. It's quite annoying. Of course. Look at it. It's noisy again. I'm so sorry, guys. Even I myself is not very pleased about the noise. Anyway, they say if you can't beat them, join them. So I'm gonna make my own noise. I'm just gonna do my own thing here. Okay, and yeah, I'm just telling you because I know that not many people can actually appreciate loud noises. I don't think there are people who can actually appreciate that. I'm gonna get my yellow ochre and I'm gonna spread that yellow ochre color right here, okay, very near the horizon line that we just had. And randomly, I'm gonna spread that yellow ochre. Oh my God. I cannot believe that this is happening this moment. I cannot believe it. Okay, I'm gonna spread more yellowy colors. All right, just like that. All right, I'm gonna wash my brush out. I'm gonna get my cerulean blue. Again, I'm gonna darken that cerulean blue. Now I'm really speaking so loud because I don't want them to overpower my voice. I want you to hear my voice, not the noise outside. Okay. I'm going to use my Cerulean Blue plus black. Okay. I'm just going to relayer the sky portion. Okay. I'm going to add more black to that because I can still see some areas that are not well covered. All right, just like that. Okay, I'm gonna get my white. And I'm just gonna lighten this portion of the horizon line. Okay, now I'm gonna get my purple again. Get your purple, add some black. And I wanna create, okay, let's make it dark. Let's create some darker version of the purple clouds. Again, you wanna soften it, make sure that you somehow soften the colors. Okay. All right, just like that. Okay, I'm gonna get another brush. I'm gonna dab onto my white. I'm just gonna make sure that this part of the sky is brighter, the centermost portion. And I'm gonna continue doing some streaks of clouds. And just like that. Okay. Now I'm gonna get my violet plus white. And I just wanna make sure that there is, okay, and blue probably. Okay, just like that. Okay. Great. I will go back to the sky later, but for now let's leave it like that. We're just uh, in the preliminary stage of the painting process. So I'm gonna wash my brush out. You don't have to wash it so well. Just remove the paints. Okay. Now I'm gonna get my black, mix it with green. Okay, and I'm gonna cover. Let's underpaint first this part of the painting. This is the underpainting for that. So it's a combination of black and green. All right. All right. And then Just cover it with this color. No particular brush strokes required. Just cover it, for purposes of underpainting, giving it some dark tones, shadows, and of course, depth. All right, and then we're gonna do the same thing right on the left side. So just cover this area with some green, dark green color. All right, cover it with green, dark green color. Okay, I'm gonna wet it a bit so that the paint really sticks on my canvas. Okay, just darken the portion. Just like that. Okay, you can definitely go and paint over the sketch lines that we had. Remember that I used blue here for the sketch lines. So you can definitely paint over that area so that we don't see any blue line anymore. Okay, just like that. And now we will be adding more distant trees in the background, or distant mountains or rocks, or it could be anything, but there should be objects from the distance. And I'll be using this color on my paintbrush. I'm just going to add a little bit of white so that I tone it down or give it a more lighter look. Give it more light look. So I'm going to add black. So I'm just going to gray it down. I'm going to add some burnt sienna or brown red, green and black. So just combine everything on your palette as long as there's some sort of white color. And okay, maybe I'm gonna add a little more white just to lighten things up a bit, because these are distant trees. And make sure that you only use the tip of the brush, the bristles, so that just like this. You can use another brush if you think that you cannot control a wider tip brush. You see, I'm just making some markings. I'm not really trying to paint anything. I'm just making some markings right here. Okay, just like that. All right. Okay, I'm gonna wash my brush out, and I'm gonna use a smaller, more pointy brush. I'm gonna get my black, and I'm just gonna go again and re-outline this area, because I went outside that line when I was doing the distant trees. Okay, just like that. Okay, and now I'm gonna do the same thing, but I'll be adding more white. Okay, and maybe a little bit of blue. We're going to create more distant markings right here in the background. Just to suggest that there are other things, going on from the distance. Okay, just like that. Now I'm gonna get my pure black, and we want to make sure that we still make some dark markings on this distant trees and mountains to create depth and negative spaces between, you know, between those things that are far. Create some shadows, or here we go again with the noise. But I think noise are my friends. Noises are my friends now. I don't want to hate noises anymore, because I think the more you hate things, the more they, the more they irritate you. But if you start loving, appreciating the noise, the more it doesn't irritate you anymore. Okay? Is that a good idea? I'm gonna get my black again. I'm just going to make some outline right on the most distant mountains that we just created. Okay, but we want to make sure that it's a subtle outline, and we don't want to use too much of the dark colors because they are far. Okay, right. Okay, just like that. Now let's move on to doing some grasses. And I think this is the fun bit about this painting, simply because I love painting landscapes, and we'll be using our what do you call this, fan brush. So I'll be getting my fan brush. Let me show you the fan brush that I'll be using. It's more on the stiff side of things, so I'll be using this fan brush. As you can see here, the bristles are more stiff, okay, compared to my other fan brush, which is softer. And I don't want to use this soft brush. I'm going to use the stiff brush so that it creates that grass-like patterns that I want for this painting. So I'm going to use this dry, and I'm going to dab onto my green and yellow. I'm going to mix black, green, and yellow. And I'm going to start creating, okay, um, grasses. All right. Okay, I'm going to make some more black color. We don't want this to be super yellow green. The grasses are not really, really tall, okay, but they are, they're like cut, they're like trimmed grasses. So I'm gonna move my fan brush in this manner to suggest short grasses. Okay, just like this. So just move your fan brush the way I'm doing it, and you can actually get some more black just to actually I grab onto my yellow color. So I'm just gonna create, just enjoy this process. This is very fun and easy. Um, it's just about controlling your hands. Again, just short dabs, but vertical, so that you follow the movement or the natural shape of the grass, of grasses. I mean, I'm gonna get my green. Okay, so just pure phthalo green or permanent green. And in the same manner, I'm just gonna do. Okay, why is my green not working? My green is too transparent, I guess. Okay, I'm allowing some yellow to be there. It's fine. Now I'm gonna get my burnt sienna, and I want to make sure that some brownie colors are here on my um, landscape. Okay, just like this. Now I'm gonna add white to my green color. Okay, and I'm gonna add black to that. Okay, remember to always add white so that it becomes more visible. And again, I'm gonna do the same manner. I'm gonna do the brush strokes in the same manner. Alright. I think I'll be using my palette knife later, just to create more texture. And randomly, I'm just gonna add patterns like this. We're not suggesting long grasses here, but we want to suggest unevenness. Okay. I'm gonna dab onto my burnt sienna. Okay, just like that. All right, I'm gonna dab onto my black. Now we don't want to forget some negative spaces. You don't want to forget that because it will make your painting more dimensional. All right, I'm gonna switch brush. I'm gonna use like an old brush. I'll be using this brush, okay? I'll be using a very old pointy brush. And I'm gonna use the same color, greens and yellows. I'm gonna add more blue, okay? I'm gonna add a little bit of cerulean blue going on. And I'm gonna spread it like this. As you can see here, I'm just making some markings. I'm not really painting grasses, but I'm painting the appearance of grasses. I'm gonna get my black. Let's create some sort of indentations. All right, and I'm gonna use this black to go around this area. All right, just like that. And some burnt sienna. You know, ever since the weather has gone a little bit warmer, for the past week, I think the streets have become noisier. That's what I noticed. And I think everybody will agree. I'm gonna add some brownie colored stuff here to make it appear more natural. I'm sorry guys, am I the only one who hates noise? I just don't like it. I don't know why. I just noise is for me is a it's a toxic thing to have around. I'm gonna get my black. But of course, I mean, I cannot absolutely avoid that unless I put myself in isolation. But what I'm saying is that some people are very inconsiderate when it comes to creating uh, very distracting noises, and we cannot really prevent ourselves from encountering them. We're not excused. I mean, who are we? Um, I'm just saying that as an artist, I don't think I will ever appreciate noise. as a form of meditating thing for me. Anyway, I'm just sharing with you how I feel about the noise. I'm gonna add more greeny colors right here. And I know some people will suggest, why don't you just vacuum the house? Meaning, when you vacuum the house, or enclose your room in a vacuum way, meaning the noise will not come and the noise will not go from the inside. Well, I wouldn't do that. But I know that suggestion. Okay? Just letting you know. All right. Okay, some more light colors over here. And I'm adding a little bit of brownie colors. Okay. Okay, and let's do the same thing right here on the left side. So what we did here was we use our fan brush. Okay. I'll be getting my black and green, a little bit of yellow, and blue. I'm gonna add blue right away. Okay. And white, just to start lightening everything now. I'm gonna lighten, again, move in a vertical direction. You can go a little bit diagonal, but remember that it should be always going down, not going side to side. If that makes sense. Okay, I'm gonna dab onto my brownie color. You wanna make sure that there are some brown colors going on here. Okay, so just enjoy this process. I mean, I'm not even exerting a lot of effort for doing the grass. Just do it this way. And remember to go over the sketch line so that your grasses look more natural and not, really, really structured. Again, you can go a little bit diagonal, but make sure that it's still towards you. Okay, when you pull your brush, it should be towards you, not from left to right or like right to left. Now I'm going to get my brown color and I'm going to dab onto my white. So by lightening my brownie color, I'll be creating some dead grass. Okay, but it has to be there. I mean, it has to be there. Let's make this painting look more natural. I realized that I really missed watching Vincent van Gogh and going to his exhibitions. I just miss Vincent van Gogh. I mean, the Art Institute of Chicago has a lot of, well, not too much, but beautiful paintings of Vincent van Gogh. I call them beautiful, even if we have different styles, simply because his paintings are about his life. And I really like that fact that it's about him. That makes the painting more beautiful. All right. I'm gonna dab onto my white without washing my brush, and I'll be creating highlighted grasses here. Some highlighted grasses. All right, just like this. Okay, I'm gonna highlight a little bit of the distant grasses and also right here. Okay, now don't forget the negative spaces. With the negative spaces, I can use any brush because I'll be using black. But I'm just gonna use the fan brush that I used. So I'm gonna get my black and I'm gonna remove the excess water. That's too much water. And I'm gonna go and create some negative spacing. And we want to make sure that there are negative spaces because without this, it will make your painting look really flat and cartoonish. And while cartoons are not really bad, that's not the goal here. All right. Okay. So I'm gonna use some more pointy brush again. I'm just gonna go along the left side, gonna dab onto my black, and I'm just gonna make some outline. Okay, I'm trying also to remove the blue line that I just did earlier during the sketch process. Okay. All right. Okay, just like that. And I'm just gonna use the remaining paints to create some more um, negative spaces. Okay, now I'm gonna use my black, and I want to create some like bushes. Sorry. Also, right here, just use black first. Okay, these are some bushes that are going on. These fields. I'm gonna allow those first to dry, and I'm gonna re-outline the horizon line. I'm gonna use black to just re-outline it properly. Just go along the horizon line again. All right, just like that. Again, we're going to go back to some areas, okay? Let's just allow the paint to dry. Let's move on to the centermost part of the painting, which will be waters. However, there will be reflections of what's above here. Okay. So before we proceed um, to doing the reflections, I'm gonna use a clean brush. I'm gonna dab onto my white, and I'm gonna water down my white, and I just want to go and glaze. Okay, I'm gonna glaze the sky part so that it appears more soft and appears more light. Okay, I want to soften it like this. By just glazing it, you're not really painting over it, but it's like varnishing it with some white. I call it varnishing. Okay. I'm going to apply a little bit of that white on the distant trees and mountains appearing here, just to make it more distant, to make it appear more far from you. All right, just like that. Okay. And then I'm going to get some violet. sorry, not violet. I'm gonna get some cerulean blue. Okay. You know I'm gonna get um, some more cerulean blue. You know my canvas paper is really absorbent. That's why it's my paints sip through the canvas paper that I'm using. So if your canvas paper or canvas board, your material that you're painting on is similar to mine, very absorbent, you can always relayer anytime. However, I suggest that before you relayer, okay, you wait for the previous paint to dry, okay, so that you don't smudge the colors. I'll be getting my violet. Oops, that's too much. I'll be applying some violet colors right here. Right, just like that. Now I'm gonna get my yellow ochre plus white. Again, yellow ochre plus white, and I'm just gonna use this to make this area more light. Just like this. Okay, now that we're at it already, I'm gonna use this yellow ochre right here. Okay, it's really watery. Okay, just like that. Okay. And I'm gonna use another brush. I'm gonna dab onto my white plus cerulean blue. But remember to add a little bit of black to your cerulean blue and white so that it's more on the neutral side of things. I'm gonna soften it. Okay. Oh, sorry. Gonna add more white right here just to soften things a bit. And then I'm gonna add blue and violet and of course white. Don't forget, and black. Always use black to just mute the colors down, okay? And I'm gonna use that color down here. Okay. Uh, we will correct anything that appears weird. Okay. For now, let's just do this. Just like that. And using white. Okay, don't forget white. We want to soften. Okay, I'm gonna go a little bit vertical. Oh, sorry, horizontal when it comes to my brush strokes. Okay, just like that. Soften it. Mhm. Just like that. Let me see. That's nice. Let me just move. All right. I'm gonna get my white. I'm gonna go a little bit vertical this time. Just remember that we're doing reflections, so there is some sort of vertical brush strokes that you should see. Okay. All right, just like that. Okay, great. Gonna get my violet. I'm gonna create some little markings here so that it really looks natural, you know. So just tiny things that I know that we can do away with. However, I want it to be there. Okay, just like that. Maybe I'm gonna use another brush. I'm gonna get more white. And I'm gonna start, highlighting the farthest most, far, the farmost area right here. I'm gonna whiten it a bit so that it appears more bright. I'm gonna get my yellow. I'm gonna water it down and apply a little bit of yellowy colors. Mhm. And I'm gonna pull it down so that it's more part of the reflections. Okay, great. And using this yellow, I'm just gonna go and apply some yellowy colors. Okay, just to give it more light. Okay. All right, and I'm just using my fingers to dab the colors onto this area. All right, just like that. I really like this one. Okay, and then I'm gonna use my pure white. I'm gonna create some more white brush strokes right here. And using this white, I'm going to go around, okay? That line, okay, just follow, just paint along the curvatures, okay, using white. This is just to highlight it. Just go around it to suggest some light. Great. And then again, I'll be using more white to make this area appear more bright. In the same manner, I'm just going to go a little bit vertical and pull down just like that. Okay. All right, now using my black, let's go here and create some shadow. Okay, just like that. Okay. And then using some violet colors mixed with white. I did not wash my brush, okay? And let's create some of that violet colors. Very subtle. Right, just like that. Now, let's create some more highlights. I'm gonna get my burnt sienna and white. Okay, that's too brown. I'm gonna get more white. Let's create some more browny colored colors. Light brown colors, okay? Again, you should go like beyond. You should make the grass overlap, okay? Overlap the land portion so that it looks more natural, just like that. Okay, I'm gonna get some green, yellow ochre. All right, and then using some greeny colors, let's highlight already this little bush. And also right here. So just tiny bushes. Okay. Right, just like that. And some dark greens. Okay, I told you earlier that I'll be using a palette knife, and we will, okay? I'm gonna get some green, black, and white so that we highlight a little bit of this bush. And just tap, tap, tap. All right. Some brownie things. All right, just like that. Now I'm gonna use some watered down white. Let's go back to the water part. Okay, I'm gonna use again my white. Make sure that it's watered down. Okay, and I'm just gonna go and make a quick call this glazing it with that color. Follow the shape of it. That's why I'm using a lot of water here, is to actually, imitate the waters. Mhm. And then I can go a little bit like this. See. And I'm gonna go over it again with some dry brush. Okay, just like that. Some white highlights. Okay. Some white highlights. Okay. Just to make your land part look more realistic. I'm gonna apply a little bit of brownie colors. Just like that. Okay. We haven't really applied a little bit of orange, so I'm gonna get a little bit of orange. Okay. And of course, we're doing the sky. I'm gonna wet my brush. I'm gonna get my orange. Since orange is more on the translucent side of things, it's very easy for us to glaze using this color. So I'm just gonna use a little bit of orange. Mhm. And you cannot miss applying that color on the waters. Right, great. Using some more yellowy colors. You know, the sky is a huge part of this painting. It plays a huge role in setting the mood. Okay. Now let's proceed to using my palette knife. So I'll be using this palette knife and I'm just gonna drag the same colors that we already have on our palette. Okay. Gonna get some greeny color plus black and white, and I think I already ran out of green. Okay, anyway, if I ran out of green, I can simply mix blue and yellow. Okay, now that we have our olive green, I'll be using olive green. I'm just gonna drag it just like this to create patterns and even markings. Okay, just like that. And using again some greens. We want to make sure that the negative spaces we don't miss, okay? So I'm just using dark greens to fill in those spaces with some negative spaces. Okay. And I think, okay, I need more black. Let's just go back to this area because I highlighted here so much that I removed the shadow. And let's create some unevenness. Mm. See, this is nice. I'm gonna get my white and I'm gonna create some more white effects. Some green colors are mixing, but I really don't mind. It's okay. I mean, it only will make our painting more natural. Dark colors. Some cerulean blue. Right. It's really nice. So I'm just gonna make some more highlights. You wanna make sure that they look more browny. Okay. Right, more greens. And of course, more browns. So I'm just playing with browns and greens and yellows. I just want to make sure that it looks more natural than just pure green or pure yellow. I'm just using black. Right, just like that. Okay, this is nice. I'm just gonna make some slight outline along the distant mountains. And we want to make sure that the distant areas are highlighted. Mhm. Okay, this is nice. Right. Okay, so I think we're done. Okay, so I just added a little more long, like long grasses on the left side. And I think I really like this one. So I'm gonna sign this now. Okay, I'll be using my white. I'm gonna sign right here. And we're finished. So I hope you enjoy that one, guys. And I'm gonna link in the description box below my landscape painting tutorial so that you can select from among them which one you want, or you can simply paint along with me, by watching multiple painting tutorials of mine. So see you in my next one, and I hope you have a great weekend. Bye, guys. Mm-hmm.